Today on this old road, we go out and find another piece of old concrete from an old road. But this one's not on a 70-year-old abandoned highway out in the middle of nowhere. This one is a 70-year-old section of roadway which has been repurposed and commemorated in the drive-thru lane of this In-N-Out restaurant in West Covina. Depending on how tightly you define it, there are as many as 27 In-N-Out Burger restaurants along Interstate 10, with locations near to that freeway from California to Texas. I think that Interstate 10 has by far the greatest number of locations for In-N-Outs for any freeway. But In-N-Out is more than just a stopping point along the highway. The history of In-N-Out and the 10 freeway are very closely intertwined. Freeways are synonymous with Southern California. In-N-Out is synonymous with Southern California. But the construction of the freeway which became Interstate 10 could have doomed In-N-Out even before its story really got going. And in today's video, this old road combines a little bit of highway history with culinary history and explores how the construction of that very freeway could have spelled the end for the restaurant which eventually became a Southern California institution. The story begins in Baldwin Park, California in 1948. In this town, which is about 20 miles to the east of downtown Los Angeles, entrepreneur couple and newlyweds Harry and Esther Snyder opened a 10 by 10 hamburger stand along U.S. Highways 60, 70, and 99, the major highway leading east from Los Angeles. Their restaurant was located on the corner of Francisquito Avenue and Garvey Avenue. At the time, Garvey Avenue was the routing used by the triple concurrency of U.S. Highways 60, 70, and 99. Harry and Esther sold 57 hamburgers on their first day, and they never looked back. They had a great location along a well-trafficked route, and the Snyders and their restaurant did well. Only a handful of years later, in 1952, the Snyders were ready to open a second outlet a few miles away in Covina. But even as they were looking to expand, trouble was on the horizon for their first location. The California Division of Highways had set its sights on widening and improving the highway in front of that first store. The state was planning to upgrade Garvey Avenue to a freeway, but the problem for the Snyders in Baldwin Park? Their original In-N-Out was in the way. It was the ultimate irony that the same road which had carried all of that traffic to In-N-Out and which had allowed it to grow into a successful enterprise now was carrying so much traffic that it was going to kill off that enterprise by gobbling up its property. But the Snyders didn't throw in the towel. In 1954, they built a replacement for In-N-Out Store No. 1, just a few yards to the west, on the other side of Francisquito Avenue and out of the way of the path of the new freeway. And then the state took the original Store No. 1 by eminent domain and demolished it. The new Ramona Freeway opened in this area in June of 1956.
So here was the original location of the original store. So number 1 version of Store No. 1. I know it gets a little confusing because Store No. 1 is currently on its 3rd location. But right here on Francisquito Avenue, right where this bridge is, and more specifically, where that sign bridge is up on the San Bernardino Freeway, was the location of the store. They got wiped out as they built the San Bernardino Freeway. So it was US 60, 70, and 99 here, now Interstate 10. Kind of in the shadow of LA Fitness, but literally where that sign is up on the freeway there. The current Store No. 1 is across the way on the eastern side of the freeway. Can't really see it from here, but just beyond the bridge is where the Store No. 1 is located. Here's the replica of the original In-N-Out. Now this is not the original store because the original store was razed by the state of California, but they reconstructed this one after they tore down version number 2 of Store No. 1 to show you what it looked like originally. I don't know if the drive-through lot was paved or not. Here they have it just kind of filled with rocks. That's the original sign there. The famous one with the clock on it. That was along the San Bernardino Freeway when they built the second version of store number 1.
That replacement store number 1 remained in service for a half a century. As the company grew and the freeway grew, the company built a new store in this area on the other side of the freeway. That's the store that's currently operating on the south side of the freeway, next to the In-N-Out Company Museum. This third version of store number 1 was constructed on property that previously was the location where Harry and Esther Snyder once had their home. The prior store number 1, that second version of store number 1 back on the north side of the freeway, was razed, but the company held on to the property. A decade later, they built this replica of their very first location on this site where the second version had been. Now, I know it's getting a little confusing with an overload of original locations. The replica of the original sits on the lot where the replacement original was located, and the current original, that one that's currently operating, but which is now 2 decades old itself, is on the other side of the freeway. Maybe it's better just for me to say store number 1, version number 1, version number 2, and version number 3. So this cute little museum is a replica of store number 1, version number 1, located on the lot where version number 2 once sat. It keeps very limited hours, only 3 hours per day and 4 days per week. But as I rolled up only a couple of minutes before what should have been closing time, the employee on duty, Kenny, was only too happy to welcome me in and let me have a look around.
Howdy, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm super. I know that you're getting ready to close up.
You're fine.
Okay, cool.
Don't let me rush you out here.
So, where was the Snyder's house exactly?
So, right, I don't know if you can see through the trees over here. The arrow on the other side of the freeway, more or less right about there.
So, on the other side of the freeway?
Yeah.
Is that where the current store number 1 is, or where the company store is, or further back?
So the company store would have been like in the backyard. So you can come inside, if you come around here, I'll check.
Okay. So the Snyders lived really close where they could keep an eye on their store. The original store number 1 was located right here. And where you see that arrow peeking out over the top of the freeway there was the location of their house. Here are the famous palm trees that became part of the lore of In-N-Out. Adapted from the movie It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, 1963. Very funny movie where the hidden treasure was buried under a giant W, as Jimmy Durante told them in his dying words. So what did they use the washing machine for?
So we use it for our fries.
Oh, that's a fry machine.
Yeah, so, well, they used it for that, but the original purpose was closed, but they never used it.
It's cool. May I go in?
Yeah, come on in. Just watch your step right here.
After they tore down the original store number 1, which looked like this, then they put a new store number 1 right here, correct? Okay, so that's this one.
And that was operational until 2003.
Till 2003, and that's when they built the current number 1 across the way. And this is amazing. I didn't realize that you had all this stuff in here. I'd only seen it from the other side of the fence before.
So now you're in here.
The story of the crossed palm trees and the It's a Mad, 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 Mad World.
Correct.
That's fun. Thank you. What was your name?
Kenny.
Kenny. Hi. Oh yeah, you got your name right there. I'm Dan. Nice to meet you. And as I'm here, there's a whole group of tourists showing up to check out the place.
His kindness and patience was appreciated and is a testament to the caliber of the employees that In-N-Out hires. And it was then rewarded by the arrival of yet another group, which was even later than I had been, who probably wouldn't have gotten to check out this place if I hadn't showed up and caused Kenny to have to stay later than was scheduled in the first place. But even still, he never looked even slightly annoyed.
Even in looking at the undersides of these bridges, you can see how many times the freeway's been widened Probably that original construction was 3 lanes in each direction with a median in the middle. And clearly here, those bridges there in the middle are wider than that. And then there's additional lanes that were added here. As the state of California has really expanded the San Bernardino Freeway to be as wide as it could possibly be and fit inside of this right-of-way. Same thing over here on the other side. You can see additional lanes added. It's almost like a giant tunnel here as you walk under the freeway. And the traffic noise really echoes too. See over here on this side, these are the eastbound lanes that we're underneath now. Clearly they added more lanes here at a later time. They added more lanes here at a later time than when those bridges were built. And those bridges are wide enough that I don't think those are the original bridges from the 1950s either. I think those probably date from the 70s. So right about here is where the Snyder's house would have been located. And then as I turn this way, start to walk under the freeway. Directly across Francisquito Avenue is where store number 1 was. So it was actually kitty corner from their house. Across Francisquito and also across US 60, 70, 99, which was Garvey Avenue back in the time.
Going back to 1956, that freeway construction continued eastward and reached completion at Barranca Street, only 6 miles down the road from store number 1 in the following year. The 1957 configuration of the interchange there was much different than it is now, but it was typical of so many of the interchanges designed by the Division of Highways in that era, with short ramps dumping onto a frontage road. Here's the map showing the original configuration. This is Barranca Street here, and you can see the eastbound ramp for Barranca Street prior to the Barranca Street overpass. The ramp ends abruptly right after exiting. Motorists headed for northbound Barranca Street had to turn left twice, and both within a very short distance. When the freeway was first built, the surrounding area was mostly rural, and this ramp configuration met the need of its day. But development soon caught up with it and exposed the flaws in the design. When it came time to widen the freeway in the 1970s, the planners decided to fix this ramp. Now, fix is probably not the right word. By this time, the available space around the interchange was already constrained by existing development, so they did their best to improve the exit. The result was the current configuration, which opened in 1975, where the eastbound Barranca ramp was moved so that it now exits after the overpass. It still dumps onto the frontage road, but now it's 2 right turns to get across the freeway instead of 2 lefts. So, based on my reading of that old map, I'd say that the original ramps were probably right in this area. Exit ramp and entrance ramp. The location where those original ramps had been abandoned remained as an empty lot for over a decade, until In-N-Out pegged it as a site for a new restaurant. It was 1990, and those original ramps from 1956 were still there, but no longer in use, still on the property. The decision that they made, instead of just demolishing them, was to salvage them, at least a portion of them, and incorporate them into the design for the new restaurant. I wonder how high up the chain of command that this decision might have gone. Who was the one who had the temerity to go to the boss and say, "Hey, we found these old abandoned freeway ramps, so we stopped digging to see if you want to do something with them"? I'm sure multiple people at multiple levels had a hand in making this happen, because it didn't just happen by chance. The architects decided to incorporate that old ramp into the design of the new location. They salvaged a section of the curbing and concrete from that original freeway ramp, and they built it right into the drive-thru for the restaurant. They probably had to redraw some of their blueprints for the drive-thru, because I imagine that building a driveway around an existing segment requires more painstaking construction than just paving the whole thing. The curb and the ramp sections are not in the same spot where they had been when they were originally in service as an exit ramp. This drive-thru lane is closer to Barranca Avenue than the freeway ramps would have been. But even still, In-N-Out could have just hauled away those old concrete chunks. But when they found them on the construction site, someone had the presence of mind to stop digging and figure out what to do. It's obvious that they made a conscious decision to move the old section from wherever along these ramps that it had been located to its present spot. I'm not sure if it's the entire section of this drive-thru pad, but I think it might just be this smaller portion here. Personally, I think it's very cool that they did this. And today, most customers just drive right by it, seemingly unappreciative of the effort made and its significance. The always busy line of cars rolls through and orders their double-doubles, customers passing right in front of this monument, hiding in plain sight, which commemorates the original concrete.
This section of rolled curb was part of the original Barranca off-ramp of the San Bernardino Freeway, which opened for service on January 18, 1957. In 1975, the original off-ramp was buried on this site. In-N-Out Burger remembers the past with gratitude for laying the foundation for future dreams. Found on this site, June 1990.
So the 10 freeway, which could have spelled the end for the fledgling company, but instead became its lifeblood, is celebrated by In-N-Out today at this location in West Covina. Two Southern California institutions which had their beginnings in the middle of the last century with a complicated intertwined history, commemorated right here in front of the drive-thru order board. This road surface, which was constructed in 1957, now has been repurposed and is still serving hungry restaurant customers in 2026, 7 decades later. And with this marker plaque, In-N-Out pays homage to that same freeway which had wiped out their original store, that store which had been built by the Snyders itself.
And the story of In-N-Out and the 10 freeway. I hope you enjoyed this look at highway history on this old road. If you enjoyed this video, please consider clicking the thumbs up so that YouTube will share it with other people. And if you enjoy the content on this old road, I'd be honored to have you as a subscriber. This is This Old Road in Baldwin Park, California. Thank you for watching.